Hey y'all, and welcome back. In today's video, I'm making broccoli and cheddar cheese soup. This is Haley's recipe. She gave it to me a while back, and I've been just hanging on to it to share with y'all. So today, with it being a cold, wet, rainy day in January, I thought it would be a perfect day to make this soup. So y'all come on and join us in the kitchen as we make this recipe for this broccoli and cheddar cheese soup. On this rainy day, there's nothing better than to make a good pot of broccoli and cheddar cheese soup. So let's get started. Okay, this is what you're going to need for your broccoli soup. 2 cups of chicken broth, 1/4 cup of white flour, 2 heads of broccoli chopped in little pieces, 2 carrots, 1 medium onion, 1/4 cup of butter, 2 cups of half and half, so I'm going to use 1 cup of heavy cream to 1 cup of milk, 8 ounces of cheddar cheese, 2 cloves of garlic, salt, pepper, and a dash of nutmeg. And now we're just going to let that butter start melting down. Now that we have our butter all melted down, we're going to go ahead and add our onion. And we're just wanting to cook these until they become a little clear and starting to get a little brown to them. So now let's just let those sit there and start cooking. And now that my onions have started cooking, I'm going to add my minced garlic because I don't want to cook it quite as long as I did the onions. And let that cook for just a minute or two. And now we're going to add our other 2 tablespoons of butter. And now to my butter and my onions and garlic, I'm going to add my 1/4 cup, 4 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And cook that down so it don't have your soup tasting like white flour. You want to let it cook for around 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add my 2 cups of chicken broth. And this right here is some canned chicken broth that Travis and myself put up. And then we're going to add our half and half, which I've got 1 cup of heavy cream to 1 cup of milk. If you got half and half, use that. And now we're going to just let that come to a low simmer. With the milk products in here, just keep it stirred, but you want to let it cook for around 20 minutes on a low heat. And while we're bringing it up to a simmer, I'm going to go ahead and add my teaspoon of black pepper and salt. Actually, I'm going to do only a half a teaspoon of the salt. And then taste it if we want more. So about that right there. And I'm going to go ahead and add my 1/4 teaspoon of the nutmeg. Now this is Haley's recipe. I've never cooked broccoli soup using nutmeg, so let's see how it turns out. Haley, I hope it's good. So we're going to go ahead and do it. 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. And now we're just going to let that come to a good simmer and keep it stirred. Don't let it stick, because that milk will scorch. Okay, we've let it simmer for around 20 minutes. And boy, does it smell good in here with that garlic and the onions and the butter. Now we're going to go ahead and add our vegetables. We're going to be adding our 2 small bunches of broccoli. And the recipe calls for 2 carrots grated. And now we're just going to give those a good mix and get it all incorporated in with our cream, our onions, and our garlic. Okay, now we're going to let that sit there and simmer and cook on low for 25 minutes. Okay, we've let it cook the rest of the time. I've got my vegetables as done as I want them. They're tender. And now it says to blend it to the texture that you want it. You can either blend it all the way or maybe even leave a little bit of the vegetables whole, but try to blend a little. So let's go ahead now. I've turned the heat off and I've let it cool for a minute so we could blend it without it going crazy, especially if you use a stand blender. Make sure it's good and cool before you try to, or let it cool down before you go to blend it in a blender. But I'm going to use this blender I have right here, so I don't have to put it in a regular blender. We're going to use this one. So let's put it in here and see what happens. I'm going to leave a little bit of my vegetables whole. I don't want to puree it all the way, but I do want to cream it a little bit and get some of those pieces of the bigger broccoli chopped up. Okay, you can see the difference, how it's starting to blend up my broccoli so I don't have the big little flower florets in there. We're going to do it just a little bit more. Okay, I think I like this texture of my soup right here. So let's stop blending the soup right now, and now we're going to add our cheddar cheese. I'm just checking it to make sure I got most of the broccoli blended in. And now let's add our cheddar cheese to it. And we're just going to start by sprinkling it in the soup and letting it start melting down. And now we're just going to give that cheese a good mix. And it won't take but just a few minutes for all your cheese to melt. Okay, now we're going to service up a bowl of this broccoli and cheddar cheese soup on this rainy day. And now we're just going to add a few green onions to the top. But right here is what our soup turned out to be on this rainy, cold day in January. I hope y'all like this video, and if you try our recipe, don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you like it. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.